building behind me is called Assembly A. It's one of the newest office buildings in Bristol and is part of a large development with two other buildings, Assembly B and C. Each building is different because they have to fit on a funny shaped piece of land. Between the Bristol Floating Harbour, this main road, which is Temple Way, and two other smaller roads, Narrow Plain and Cheese Lane. Assembly A is described as a Grade A office. This means there is lots of natural light and open space inside, and there are very few columns in the building, making the space really flexible for the people who use it as their office. As you can see, the columns around the edge of the building are on the outside of the facade and are painted in this striking Bristol green colour. You can also see there is a big hole in the bottom of the building. This is quite unusual and isn't there just for fun. Underneath the building there is a major sewer. The hole is there to provide access if there is a problem with the sewer and they need to dig it up and repair it. To support the structure above the hole, we have these big beams called transfer beams. We can see one on the outside here, the same on the other side, and there is one on the inside as well. A column, which supports the floors above, comes down and lands in the middle of the transfer beam, which then takes the load or transfers it across the columns on either side. Because the loads are really big, equivalent to 100 elephants, the beam has to be really deep. In fact, they are a hollow box and you could walk through them. The inside of the building will stay a fairly constant temperature because it has heating and cooling. The green steel on the outside of the building will warm up and cool down as the outside temperature changes. As it does that, it will expand and contract, but the structure inside the building, which it's connected to, won't. To accommodate this difference in movement, we had to think carefully about how we designed all of the green steel bits you can see. For the transfer beam, we allowed it to expand and contract by supporting it on its own columns, which you can see below it. These columns are flexible enough to allow it to expand and contract as the temperature changes. Assembly A is a great example of how structural engineering needs to consider lots of different practical considerations. What is in the ground, like existing sewers, to how the weather and temperature changes might affect the design.